Weird things that happened at a friend's house. When this kid was 10 years old, he went to his friend's house for the first time. They were having fun. Wake up, wake up. Dude, your hamster's hilarious, right? Isn't he the best? Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Well, he went to the bathroom and did his thing. As he was washing his hands, he noticed 4 towels that were hanging up. But the thing was, each of those 4 towels had brown marks all over them. So he asked his friend about it. Hey man, what's with those like weird dirty towels hanging up in your bathroom? Oh yeah, those are poop towels. Poop towels? Poop towels. What's a poop towel? Well, my family doesn't buy toilet paper for the environment, so we each have our own poop towel that we use and we hang it up after each use. He went home and told his mom about it. And then they just hang it up. They just hang it back up, Mom. So gross. You're never allowed to see Joey again. Nasty. Secrets people are taking to the grave. When this guy was a kid, he went to the Family Dollar with his mom and a few of his cousins. They went off to do their own thing and he was in the toy aisle. He started flinging marbles across the floor. He stopped, and then 2 minutes later, he hears a crash and a woman scream, "Somebody help this man!" He went to go check it out. When he got to where the commotion was coming from, he saw a group of people standing around a man who had fallen off of a ladder. He was seizing, and there was blood everywhere. His mom then whisked him and his cousins away, and they left the store. Well, the next time they were at the Family Dollar, they asked one of the cashiers what had happened. Hi, yeah, so my son and I were in here a few weeks ago. What happened to that man who fell down? When he fell off the ladder, he hit his head, and sadly he passed away. Oh my god, how did he fall? We found out later that he had accidentally set his ladder on top of a marble, made the whole thing a bit wobbly, and he fell off. It's crazy. If that marble wasn't there, he would be alive today. Uber driver's craziest experiences. One night, this Uber driver was driving around a cul-de-sac looking for a guy he was supposed to pick up. Well, he couldn't find him, so he decided to keep driving around the cul-de-sac until he found him. Well, as he was pulling around the cul-de-sac for the 3rd time, 2 guys emerged from the back of a house. Hey! Yes? Hey, what did you say? He said, hey, idiot. Jeffrey, please. I'm sorry. What are you doing in my neighborhood? I said, what are you doing in my neighborhood? At this point, the Uber driver was freaking out. This dude came out strapped. An Uber driver. I'm trying to pick somebody up, but I can't find him. Okay, what's the address? 69 Mellon Drive? Oh, you're looking for Willard. He lives right there at the blue house. Willard is a character. You're gonna love him. Have a great night. Oh, hell no. He drove home, and he never accepted a ride in that part of town ever again. Weirdest breakups ever. In high school, this girl wanted to break up with her boyfriend, but she didn't know how to do it. So one day, she was hanging out with her friend. I just don't know what to say. I don't really want to talk to him in person. It's gonna be so awkward. I have an amazing idea. Hold on, pose for me, pose. Perfect. Now we're gonna post this to your Instagram. Okay. And as the caption, put, I love being single. He'll definitely get the hint. Oh my god, you're a freaking genius. And it's posted. But when her boyfriend saw it, he did not get the hint. Oh my god, he texted me. I love Pringles? Who even says that? Just text him something back. You have to end this now. Okay, I sent it. Yeah, bro, no, it was definitely autocorrect. She meant to say I love Pringles. It's happens all the time. Hold on, she just texted me.
Was this person in the right or the wrong in this situation? This Reddit user says that she's a very picky eater, but she doesn't have any dietary restrictions or allergies. She just hates most food. Well, one day her parents forced her to go out to eat with them at a hibachi restaurant. She said that her mom normally stops at a fast food place when they go out to dinner, so she can eat. But they were running late, so her mom suggested that she just try the hibachi chicken because she might like it, and that she can't keep letting her live off of nuggets and instant ramen, which makes perfect sense. Well, they got to the restaurant and she tries a bite of the chicken, and of course, she doesn't like it. So what she does is she orders Burger King to be delivered to the restaurant. She goes out, grabs it from the driver, brings it back inside, and eats it at the table. Apparently, the other tables at the restaurant were looking at them very strange. When they got home, her mom said that she embarrassed the entire family because she had Burger King delivered to the restaurant. She said that because her mom didn't stop at the fast food place for her, she had to do it. Was she in the right or the wrong in this situation?
When he was 10, his grandpa asked him, "What do you want for your birthday?" And he says, "A brick." "A brick? Why?" "Because my parents still have the super old TV. If I throw a brick at the TV, we'll have to get a new one." Oh, I'm just kidding. Maybe just some Pokemon cards or something. The grandpa just smiles and nods. A couple months later, this kid's birthday comes around, and there's a beautifully wrapped present on the table. Heavy, perfect corners. The kid opens it. Inside was a single brick. The grandpa's losing it. "You're crazy. I can't believe you remembered." And the grandpa leans in and says real quiet to him, "Wait till your mom's in the kitchen and then waste the TV." So the kid's mom goes into the kitchen to grab the cake. The kid takes the brick, smashes it in the TV. TV is destroyed. "What happened here? Now we gotta get a new TV." Yes. The grandpa took the blame for throwing the brick at the TV. "I don't know why I did that." Then the kid says, "It's okay, Mom. Please don't be mad at Grandpa. I'll help you pick out the new TV." "Okay, fine. You're right." "It's okay, Pops. You'll be okay. Just sit down and relax. I'll clean this up." The mom then leaves to grab the broom. "Nice work, kid. I love you, Grandpa." What a nice story. This teacher was bogus. When this kid was in middle school, he had just finished his work for the day and went up to go to the bathroom. Okay. That's when his teacher said, "Excuse me, sit back down. Where are you going?" I don't care. Sit back down. If you want to go somewhere, raise your hand." So the kid sits back down and raises his hand for what feels like a very long time. She was ignoring him. She even began to read a book until finally, "Oh, Kyle, I'm sorry. Yes, what? Yeah, can I go to the bathroom, please?" "Oh, yeah, of course. You don't need to ask me. You can just get up and go. You're a big boy." Classic. "You must clean the dish before you put it in the dishwasher." What? Kenny's mom had this incredibly specific belief that the dishwasher was only meant for sanitizing, not cleaning. If you put a plate in there with a smear of sauce on it, she would pull each and every dish out of there, give you a lecture, and make you wash every dish before you put it back in. "Kenny, look at this. A smudge of barbecue sauce. Now take these all out, rewash them, and put them in the dishwasher." Kenny spent 45 minutes every single night scrubbing clean plates and cups before putting it in the machine. He'd be there scrubbing, looking at it. "Mom, it's literally called the dishwasher. Can't we just start putting them in there and that's it?" "No, Kenny." He does this for years. Scrub dish, put dish in dishwasher, dishwasher run, dish done. One day he goes to his friend Steve's house. They have dinner there. His mom takes all these greasy, messy, nasty plates and puts them directly in the dishwasher. "Huh, so Steve, your mom just puts them in the dishwasher?" "Yeah, it's a dishwasher, Kenny. It washes the dishes." Kenny then realized he spent years doing a pointless task because of his mom's OCD. "Mom, Steve's dishwasher cleans their dishes just fine." "Yeah, well, Steve's family probably shares a shower towel, so jeez." The dumbest reasons people got in trouble at work. This guy was chilling at home when he got a call from a manager of a company. "Hello?" "Oh, hello, Greg." He answers, "Well, Greg, you didn't show up for work today, and honestly, I have had enough of your bullcrap. You are a disgrace to the Comcast company. You're ignorant, you're selfish, you're incredibly selfish, you waste all of our time. Your mother would be so disappointed in you, Greg. You can be quiet. What do you have to say for yourself?" The call went on for a while, but the thing was, my name isn't Greg, and I definitely don't work at Comcast. I actually just started at Dairy Queen last week, but good luck to Greg, huh? Sounds like he's in big trouble. Okay, bye. God darn it. Can somebody give me Greg's phone number? I don't think I have it, but why don't you just ask him what his number is? He's sitting at his desk. Wait, he's here today? Yeah, it's his birthday today. He brought everyone donuts. I had like 3. This girl went to the weirdest sleepover ever. When this person was in middle school, she went to a sleepover at her friend's house. It started off pretty normal, but her friend's mom was obsessively taking pictures of them all night.
"No, Carlos is the nice one. Kevin was the weird one. I think they're both weird." "Girls, look over here."
Well, at one point, they were watching a movie and her friend had fallen asleep. Her friend's mom then comes over with her camera and records her daughter sleeping for 5 minutes. Well, that night, she was sleeping on the floor of her friend's room facing the wall, away from the door. She was having trouble going to bed, when at exactly 3 a.m., she heard the door creak open. Her friend's mom had snuck into the room at 3 in the morning to take pictures of them while they slept. A secret she's taking to the grave. She had just moved in with her boyfriend. Things were going pretty well. Well, one morning, she was running late to work, so she got in her car and backed out of the driveway very fast. She accidentally ran into the mailbox, knocking it over completely. She was already so late to work, so she just left. When she got home, her boyfriend asked, "Yo, did you hit the mailbox this morning? It's completely destroyed."
I saw the mailman this morning run into it and then leave.
"Are you serious? The mailman did that?"
Yeah.
Her boyfriend then bought a new mailbox, put it in, and the next morning he sat by the window, waiting for the mailman. "Oh, morning!" "You." "What?" And every day since then, whenever he hears the mailman pull up, he runs outside to insult him.
Can I have some more coffee, please?
That's him.
I think you can stop yelling at him every day.
No. Oh, God. You're the worst mailman in the world. I hate my life. Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. When he was in middle school, he started his own lottery. He sold jars of Play-Doh for $3 each, and each Play-Doh was stuffed with money. It was either a $1 bill, a $5 bill, a $10 bill, or a $50 bill. The 50 was the jackpot. Business was very slow at first. He only made a few sales because nobody ever won the big prize. And that's because what they didn't know is he only put $1 bills in the Play-Doh jars. There was an occasional 5 or 10 in there, but never the 50. So he had an idea to get the word out. He put $50 of his own money into a Play-Doh jar. He then gave it to his friend and paid him to open the jar in front of a large group of people. Well, he did, and everyone saw it, and they were hyped. That's when they knew this business was legit. Business became booming. Everyone at the school was playing the lottery. In total, he made around $700, but the principal quickly found out and he was shut down. You gotta respect the hustle. This school is bogus. At one elementary school, a teacher was using the boys' bathroom when he saw something written on the stall wall. Oh my God, graffiti. Except it wasn't anything offensive or controversial. Somebody wrote "Hi" on the stall door with a Sharpie. So pretty innocent. But the school took this very seriously. That was the only boys' bathroom in the entire school, and the principal locked it until they could find out who wrote "Hi" on the bathroom door. No boys are allowed to use the bathroom until we find out who vandalized the stall. This lasted for 4 days, till one day something happened. "Miss? Yes, billiards? I really have to use the bathroom." "You know you can't." "I'm sorry, but I really have to go." "I'm sorry, unless you can tell me who vandalized the stall, I can't let you go." Well, this kid really did have to go, and he ended up peeing his pants right there in the classroom. Oh no. He told his mom what happened. She then called the principal and threatened to sue the school. The next day, that bathroom was unlocked once again. This kid saved the school dance. It was middle school, and the spring dance was canceled because of budget cuts. The school said they couldn't afford it, and everybody was devastated. Well, this one kid notices something. In the basement of the school, there were 3 vending machines. All of them out of order, but all of them stacked with food and snacks. They've been there for months, maybe more than a year, but he knew about this because his uncle was the janitor, and he used to hang out in the basement with his uncle. This kid was also smart. He realized that these vending machines used standardized 7-pin locks. Pretty sure I can open these. So he looked online and he found out that you could just buy a replacement key. So he did. Comes in the mail pretty quick. He goes down there one day, unlocks the vending machines, and takes all the snacks out and puts them in a big duffel bag. Then he sets up during lunch for the next few days, selling everything. Chips for $1, candy bars for 50 cents. Kids are lining up because the school snacks were super overpriced. The thing is, he's not keeping any of that money. Every dollar goes straight to the dance fund. He keeps this going because he had a lot of snacks from those vending machines. Within 2 weeks, he raises enough money to be able to afford all the school decorations, the food, the punch, everything. He goes to the principal. "Hey, so I know everyone was so excited about the dance and they're sad that it's not happening, but I raised some money and I can afford the entire thing." The principal's like, "All right, let's do it, kid." They use the gym. School all agrees. They never found out where that money came from. They were just grateful. This kid saved the school dance and everybody had a great time. It's beautiful. Gotta respect the hustle. Every school had a dead zone. a room in the basement or a locked corner of the gym where chairs and desks go to die. Most people see a pile of trash, but to Mr. Henderson, it was a gold mine. The school budget for furniture was pretty much zero. If a chair leg snapped or the top of a desk cracked, it wasn't getting replaced. So for a decade, the chair graveyard grew. They see a mess, but I see a spare heart for the chair in room 203. Mr. Henderson didn't just guard the room. He was pretty much a furniture surgeon. He had a specific system. When one chair broke, he knew which piece to grab from the graveyard. He was swapping around parts like he was Frankenstein. See, this one can be saved, but this one's too far gone. Except that leg is looking pretty nice. I'll take this and I'll put it here. It's fixed. Well, the legend started when a group of 10th graders tried to steal a few chairs. So they go into this graveyard. Quick, grab one. So they tried to grab a few chairs, but this is when it happened. They pulled out one chair and the entire mountain collapsed right onto them. And Mr. Henderson was in the corner of the room watching. Well, boys. Trying to steal my stash? He obviously helped them up and gave them a few band-aids for their scrapes. And the punishment for breaking into the room and trying to steal the chairs, they had to reorganize it and stack everything back up perfectly. You gotta love Mr. Henderson. This kid didn't talk until he was 5. And when he finally did start talking, he barely said anything. His vocabulary was only like 20 words, and he only talked when he was spoken to. And everyone already thought he was the weird kid. Well, one day, this kid is sitting outside of his house when his 10-year-old neighbor walks by. And the 10-year-old neighbor is a legit genius. He actually ends up graduating high school at 12 years old. But he walks up to this 5-year-old who barely talks, and he says to him, "The answer to every question is observing." First of all, I have no idea what the heck that means, but the kid listened. Oh. He takes it very seriously and very literally. From that day on, every single question he gets asked gets the same answer. Okay, you. What is 2 times 2? Observing. What do you want for dinner, son? Observing. Okay, and how are you feeling today? Observing. At this point, people are freaking out. People made meetings, there was counselors and therapists involved. For almost an entire year, the only thing that this kid would say is observing. Eventually, after a few years of therapy, he began talking like a normal person. But hey, that's kind of hilarious. Black markets kids ran in their schools, a follower submission. When this kid was in 5th grade, he started a business, a snack selling business. He bought a bunch of stuff from Costco. Candies, chips, juice, anything that was popular at that moment. And the second he started selling at school, business was immediately booming. He was selling out every single day. Well, one day he came to school ready to get his business on to make some money. But he realized business was abnormally slow. And that's when he found out that there was another group of kids who also started the same exact business. Well, he wasn't gonna let this fly. So he made himself some business cards and started having bundles with deals that kids could purchase. He hired 4 employees, 1 in his grade, 1 in 6th grade, 1 in 7th grade, and 1 in 8th grade. And they were paid every single Friday. They had 5 lockers, 1 for each person in each grade. And each one of those lockers were stuffed to the brim with candy and snacks. In total, he made $7,200. My favorite comebacks. Let's dive right in. Watch this. Hey, Kyle. Oh, hey, Stacy. What's up? I just wanted to tell you that I've always had a crush on you, and I'm wondering if you feel the same way. Oh my gosh, really? No, I would never have a crush on you. You're the weirdest kid in school. Hey, Stacy. What? Nice tan. Orange is my favorite color. Oompa Loompa ass. What did you just say to her, man? Not you again, you 2-legged stool sample. Excuse me? Your family got robbed last week, right? Yeah, man, so what? Well, you're so ugly, I heard the robbers made you wear the mask. This guy messed up. He was seeing this girl. She had 2 kids of her own, and they'd been dating for a few months. Well, he was over at their house one morning, and he wanted to make her kids breakfast. All right, who wants breakfast? Me! I love breakfast, yes. All right, I'll whip something up. He goes to the pantry and he finds a box of pancake mix. He puts it in a bowl, makes the pancake batter, and cooks up a huge plate of hot, tasty pancakes. These are the best pancakes ever. Seriously, they're delicious. I guess you like them, they're almost gone. He figured since there was some more pancake mix left, he would make them a couple more pancakes before breakfast was over. So he goes to the pantry, takes out the pancake mix, opens it, and notices, oh my god, there were tons and tons of maggots inside the pancake mix. He says he has no idea how he didn't realize it the first time. He never told those kids or their mom what happened. But to this day, he still feels bad about feeding them maggot pancakes. That's nasty. This teacher is the worst. When he was 9 years old, he had a teacher that hated him. He was kind of a chubby kid, and one time he didn't do his homework and she flipped out. This is your workbook. You're supposed to do homework in your workbook. I don't see your homework. She was flipping through it so hard she ripped a bunch of pages. But she wasn't done. She then, in front of the entire class, started screaming at him even more. You know what, Kyle? You're probably too busy stuffing your face with sandwiches and Twinkies that you didn't have time to do your homework. You're so fat. She then made him go to the back corner of the classroom and stand there with his hands straight up in the air until class was over. Hands up, Kyle. He went home and told his parents what happened. The next day, they came into school with him. They went to her room and asked why she did that. To which she replied, I'm sorry, I don't recall that happening. I think your kid might be making it up. I'm sorry. This teacher is horrible. The guy that shared the story said that in preschool it was nap time. Everyone was laying down and sleeping, but he couldn't fall asleep, so he was just fiddling with his sleeping bag. The teacher then came over to him, crouched down, and, listen to me, you have to go to sleep right now, okay? Miss, I can't fall asleep. When he told her he couldn't fall asleep, she got very mad, so she grabbed his face and said, if you don't fall asleep right now, I'm calling your parents and you're going to the office. This preschool's a prison. When this kid was in 4th grade, his glasses broke. Oh man. But it didn't really matter because in most of his classes he sat in the front row, so he could still see. Well, after a few days of going to class without his glasses, one of his teachers said, Kyle, I see you still don't have your glasses. Are they still broken? Yeah, but it's fine. I can still see the board. The thing with this teacher, though, was that she would always write assignments on the board for students to work on during class. She would never explain the assignments. Students would just read the board and then do their work. But anyway, she said, Kyle, it's been 4 days now. Your parents should have gotten you new glasses at this point. You're sitting in the back of the class. Okay. Alright, so this is what needs to be done before the end of class, okay? Get to work. Oh, I can't see it. What the heck? Sit down, Kyle. Hey, Stacy, can you tell me what the board says? Yeah, it says, Stacy, don't you dare tell him what it says. I'm teaching him a frickin' lesson. I hate my life. Every night at 8 p.m., this kid's parents would shut off the internet. It didn't matter what he was doing. And to turn it back on, you had to have a password. Homework, group projects, whatever, it didn't matter. At 8 p.m., the Wi-Fi was getting shut down. At first, he's mad, like this is not fair, but then he realizes the neighbor's Wi-Fi signal is very strong, and they're very old, so there wasn't a Wi-Fi password. He begins doing his homework on their Wi-Fi by his bedroom window. Okay, perfect. It works. But then like winter hits and the signal gets worse for some reason. Dang it, connect, send! Don't! He starts getting closer and closer to the neighbor's house. He begins sitting on his front porch, then outside their windows. This goes on for weeks. Sometimes the signal's better, sometimes it's horrible. Until one night, the signal was very bad, so he was sitting directly underneath their bedroom window. He didn't know it was their bedroom, but another neighbor saw it. What is that creep doing? And yeah, I guess it would look pretty creepy, this dude sitting outside the neighbor's window with a laptop. In the dark, the police get called, the cop shows up, he explains to them, I'm using their Wi-Fi. Mine gets cut off at 8 p.m. by my parents. I have homework to do. Cop's not even mad at him. He's like, where are your parents? The parents come out. The cop says, you shut off the Wi-Fi at 8 p.m.? He's got homework to do. Look what he's doing. He shames the parents. And the parents are very embarrassed because, yeah, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Nobody gets in trouble that day. And the parents stopped turning the Wi-Fi off. That's just wild. She told him to wash the car. And she gave him a bucket and a sponge. You should be all set. All right, I'm on it, Mom. So he goes outside with the bucket and the sponge. He sets the bucket right next to the car. I'm gonna put you right here. Then he goes to the side of the house and grabs the hose. Okay, got the hose. And he begins dragging the hose over to the bucket by the car. All right. But the hose is not long enough. It doesn't reach. Ah, great. So he turns on the water. Fill this bucket up, but how am I gonna do it? Just gonna launch it from here. And he begins spraying the hose and trying to arch it into this water bucket. Come on. But the bucket keeps tipping over. Come on. Not again. He adjusts his stance. He changes the angle of the hose. He's trying to find the best way to fill this bucket. But this kid didn't realize that he could just take the bucket and bring it to the hose and then bring the bucket back to the car. Like, at no point does that enter his brain. His mom's watching him through the window. I raised an idiot. I mean, yeah, kinda. She's on her first date at this guy's place, and he's cooking dinner. What's for dinner? Food. Now his place has this rustic cabin vibe. Wooden floors, dim lights. There's a weird smell that she noticed, but she thinks it's just an old house. I'm noticing a weird smell. It's probably because it's an old house. Well, at that moment, this guy's dog walks into the room and just unloads a 30-second pee right in the middle of the floor. She's trying to get his attention. Stop. No, your dog, he's peeing. He doesn't turn around, he just says, oh yeah, he does that sometimes. Well, then she asks if there's a towel she can help him clean up the pee. Since you're cooking, I can clean it up. But he says this, nah, you can just leave it. I'll spray some Febreze on it later, let it dry by itself. And that's when it hits her. The smell wasn't the cabin. That soft spot on the floor wasn't just old wood. It was the dog's bathroom. And dogs sometimes pee inside, but he never cleaned his dog's pee up. He just put Febreze on it. She politely sat there and ate dinner. Then she leaves and never texts him ever again. That's nasty. In elementary school, this guy had one friend. I have one friend. It's me. But the thing is, this kid got bullied a lot. So whenever his friend hung out with him at school, his friend would also get bullied. Dude, whenever I hang out with you, your bully also bullies me. I know, I'm sorry. So they made a rule. They wouldn't hang out at school. They wouldn't hang out at recess. They weren't friends in class. They only hung out after school where nobody could see them. That's messed up. So at school, this kid was pretty much alone. Well, one day during recess, a popular kid asked him if he wanted to kick a ball around. Hey bro, you want to play kickball with me? Sure. This was completely out of nowhere. He was shocked. This never happened to him. Well, they started actually having fun. That's when the popular kid said this. Dude, this is fun, man. You're not as bad as your friend says you are. What? Turns out that kid's friend was bullying him behind his back, starting bad rumors about how bad of a guy he was, being a complete two-faced jerk. He stopped talking to his friend altogether, even after school. And he actually became pretty good friends with the popular guy. Hey, what's up, Carl? Bro, leave us alone, man. We're having a conversation. Yeah, jerk. What a horrible friend. She's 20 years old, still living at home. She's in college. That's me. She's got 5 younger siblings. Almost every single day, she is the one cooking, cleaning, and driving the kids around. In this house, that's just how it works. Well, one night she gets home late. Her class gets done at 7:30. Normally she's home by 8, but on this day she stayed to talk to the professor a bit. No big deal, right? But she came home late. Walks in the house around 9:15. I cannot believe you. Her mom is super mad. The sink's full of dishes. There's no dinner. One of the kids had to be picked up from practice by somebody else. The mom says, "You are absolutely useless." Excuse me? Her feelings were obviously hurt because she is definitely not useless. She does so much for her family every single day. Well, after her mom said that, she didn't fight. She just went right to bed. The next morning, she doesn't wake anybody up like she usually does. She doesn't drive anybody to school, and she doesn't make dinner that night. And then she does it again and again and again, and the house starts failing. Dishes are piling up, laundry doesn't get done, kids are missing school. Now everybody's angry at her. This is your fault. This is your fault. Useless. Milk. She realized all these things she was doing were expected of her, and when she stopped doing it, nobody stepped up to take over. They blame her, and shortly after that, she moved out, and her family hasn't talked to her since. That's messed up. Most kids start a lemonade stand to make some extra cash, but Dax was playing a much darker game. He opened a barber shop in his garage, and even though his fades were terrible, every kid was lining up for a $5 buzz cut. Step up, who's next? It was like the social event of the summer. Everybody was hanging out, listening to music, laughing at how bad the haircuts were. Bro, you look goofy. What? But Miles noticed something weird. After every haircut, Dax was picking up some of the hair and putting it in a Ziploc bag. Once the day was over, Dax had cut like 15 people's hair. Miles stuck around and asked him, "Bro, why were you putting your hair in bags? Hey, check this out." He brought him to a shelf, and on that shelf was hundreds of Ziploc bags. Each of them had hair in it, and each of them were labeled. This is Miles from August 12th. This one is Cooper from July 4th. Look at all these. I had the genetic blueprint of the entire 8th grade right here, labeled and dated. Miles just laughed. "Bro, you're weird." But Dax leaned in. "Everybody thinks I'm a bad barber." Which is true, but they don't realize I got a much bigger plan. Next time someone does me dirty, steals my seat at lunch, makes fun of me, I'm gonna find a crime scene anywhere, and I'm gonna drop their hair right in the middle of it. What? Let's say Miles calls me a loser. Well, I hear sirens. I follow the sirens. A crime scene. There was a murder. Miles goes right on the floor. The police. "Whose hair is this?" They go to the computer. It's Miles. Miles goes to prison for murder. Bro, that is so messed up. And it was. And obviously, that really wouldn't work. But Miles made sure to stay Dax's friend, just in case. You would hate for some of his hair to end up at a crime scene. I'll give her a clean 7. Could have been worse. 7. Generous. Every time this class got a sub, there was this one kid who would quietly take out a piece of paper, title it Sub Scoreboard, and start grading the sub as the class went on. No one said anything, no one gave it away, it was just this perfect silent agreement that this class always did. He kept the scoreboard hidden in between his notebook like it was official. And the stuff he graded? Petty, specific, unnecessary stuff. -1 for mispronouncing names, -2 for saying, "I don't know, I'm just the sub." +3 if they actually followed the lesson, -1 if the class got too loud, and bonus points if they brought in snacks. He'd make a mark, nod to himself, and keep going. "Just stay in your assigned seats, okay? I don't know, I'm just a sub." Then at the end of the class, right before the bell, he would walk up, fold the paper once, and hand it to the sub. Final score, 7 out of 10. Not bad. Some subs laughed, some were not amused at all. And one time, this sub read the paper, looks at the kid and says, "You think you're funny? Let's see if the principal thinks this is funny." The kid just blinks, grabs the paper back, and adds 1 more score. -5, no sense of humor. He folds it again, hands it back, and he walks away. That kid is hilarious. You didn't leave the table until you finished your plate. The kid usually just tries to power through it, but he's tired. He doesn't want to do this anymore. So instead, he pretends to take bites and he puts the food into his pocket. Then after dinner, he sneaks upstairs. But he doesn't throw the food in the garbage because he's paranoid. He thinks his parents will find it and realize what he's doing. So instead, he hides it in the vents of the house. Didn't matter what food it was either. Mashed potatoes, chicken, vegetables, fish. Every night, a little bit more. Stuffy, the foodie. But his plate's always clean after dinner and his parents are happy. He's like, "This is a solid deal, cowabunga baby." Well, a week and a half go by and the house begins to smell horrific. His parents think there's a dead animal in the attic. They hire someone to come look, but there's no dead animal. Then they have the carpets cleaned, then the walls cleaned. The last thing they got checked was the vents. The guy pulls it open, he's looking. Yeah, there's a bunch of old rotten food in the vents, and everything kind of comes to light. The parents find out what the kid's been doing, but they feel bad. They're like, "Oh my God, we were forcing you to eat. You weren't hungry. You shoved the food in the vents. We're horrible parents." Well, maybe, kinda. Why would you force your kid to eat? Regardless, that rule stopped, and the house still smells a little bit like fish. There was a school in Florida that tried to monetize the bathroom. It's so messed up. They gave every student 3 restroom credits a month, and if you ran out, each additional restroom credit was $5 each. This is insane. The principal called it time management training, which didn't make any sense. It's more like a human rights violation. inflation. Well, that's when a student named Marcus, what's up, realized that the school just created the most valuable currency on campus. Okay, I got 2 credits left. I'll trade them for your pre-calc answers and your lunch. Okay, cool, yeah, deal. Marcus became this bladder broker of sorts. Hey bro, you never pee, right? No, just once before school and once at night. I'll buy your credits off you. He would either trade these credits or sell them to students who were having an emergency for a massive markup. Now the crazy part is, he began trading, buying, and selling these credits very obviously in front of teachers in the hallway, because his plan was to get caught. So when the principal did catch on, Marcus, I know what you're doing. Oh, you do you? You cannot be trading, buying, or selling these bathroom credits. Well, what are you gonna do about it, huh? Oh, well, you're gonna get in big trouble. No, you're not, because listen up. You got a few options here. You can punish me, but then I'll go to the school board, tell them that you're charging students $5 to use the bathroom. Or you can let me continue and do nothing about it. Or your last and honestly best option, get rid of the credit system. It's a human rights violation, you frickin' idiot. Out of my office now. By the next morning, the bathroom credit system was gone. And honestly, it was all thanks to Marcus. Here's what happens when you sell snacks to a rich kid. This guy's running a locker snack business to save up for a computer. Well, one kid ordered a bag of hot Cheetos and a Gatorade. Easy transaction. So he brings it to this kid's locker, and the kid looks at the Cheetos all weird. Yo, man, this bag is way too wrinkled. Okay, I'll go grab a fresh one for you. So he runs back to his locker and grabs a fresh bag. He comes back, and now this kid's saying the Gatorade's wrong. Also, dude, this is the wrong flavor Gatorade. You said blue Gatorade. I did not say blue Gatorade. He said blue Gatorade. Well, while he's standing there, you know what? It's fine. I'll take it. Okay. Well, the kid's standing there waiting to get paid when the rich guy starts showing his friends pictures of the yacht his parents just bought. Hey, Kevin, Deacon, check this out, man. That's a big boat. It's my parents. Hey, can I get the money? Jeez. Impatient, are we? Fine, here. He takes the money, he goes. The next day, the rich kid stops him in the hallway. Hey, yo, dude, those Cheetos were stale yesterday. I want a full refund. The Cheetos weren't stale, they were brand new. But he didn't know what to say, so he just refunded the guy. He says it doesn't matter. He's sure karma will catch up to this kid one day. Is it just me, or is banning a student from the bathroom a horrible idea? There was this one student who was basically infamous for wandering the hallways. He would ask to use the bathroom every single day during class. Can I use the bathroom? Again? Okay, fine, but hurry. He would then go and take like 30 minutes. Every time. When I was in school, I knew a few kids like this. Well, anyway, he would be gone for a long time. The teachers would go out, and they would find him just wandering the halls, talking to friends through their classroom door, just killing time. It got so bad that the school banned him from taking bathroom breaks during class, and they sent a memo to every single one of his teachers. Anyway, one day this kid ate fish tacos during lunch, which already, that's a horrible idea. Well, midway through third period, he begins sweating. He raises his hand. Can I go to the bathroom, please? My stomach hurts. Nice try, but no. So he tries to keep it together. 20 minutes later, he's practically doubled over. The teacher still refuses. And then it happens. Right there in the middle of class, in front of everybody. And it's a frickin' mess. Turns out the kid had actual food poisoning. But he wasn't the only kid to get food poisoning. Other kids also had it, but they were allowed to go to the bathroom. He wasn't. The school ended up settling in court with this kid's parents, and they got a good amount of money. Turns out, it doesn't matter if the kid was wandering hallways or skipping class, banning them from the bathroom is not okay. But it didn't matter how much money his parents received in the court case. He was still made fun of for the rest of his time at that school. That is messed up. It's a sleepover at his friend's house. They're sitting down talking when somebody mentions a microwave. I almost microwaved my fork. That would have been crazy. Why would that be crazy? Everyone's like, you can't microwave metal, man. You didn't know that? No, and I've never tried. They explain to him that it's bad to microwave metal, like fire hazard bad. Well, they all go to sleep, and this kid's laying there. He can't stop thinking about it. Metal, microwave. Microwave, metal, metal, microwave, metal. Metal, metal, microwave, metal. He just can't let it go. Staring at the ceiling, he decides, ugh, I need to find out for myself. So he goes into the kitchen of his friend's house, opens the silverware drawer, grabs a handful of forks, knives, and spoons, puts it in the microwave, and presses start. For the first 3 seconds, nothing happens. But then, crackling, sparks, a flash bright as the sun, And then flames. The microwave is now fully engulfed in flames, and the cabinets start on fire. Fire alarms are going off, everybody in the house wakes up and they go outside. The fire trucks arrive and they're putting this fire out. Luckily, it's not too bad. The kitchen was pretty messed up though, but the entire neighborhood was outside in their pajamas watching this thing happen. And obviously, they found out who did it. Bro, we just told you about metal in the microwave. I had to see it. And that, my friends, is nuts. Here's what happens when you ban food delivery at school. One Friday afternoon, the school sends out an email. DoorDash and Uber Eats and all delivery apps are banned. And they did this because they wanted the students to spend money in the cafeteria. Like $7 for a piece of pizza. Well, Monday morning, this kid named Tyler realizes he has a free period right before lunch, and he also has a car. Vroom vroom. So, right before his free period, he tells some people, and he begins taking orders. Okay, I got 5 people for McDonald's, I got 3 people for Wendy's, and I got 7 people for Taco Bell. So during his free period, he would take all the orders, and he would go and get all this food. And when he had the people give him money, he always made sure they gave him a bit more than the order actually cost, so he was making profit. By the end of the week, he had done 50 orders. He would get the food during his free period, and during lunch, he would just pass it out. Be discreet. He would put all the food in regular brown paper bags before he brought them to the customers, so the school didn't see the actual fast food bags. Genius. And the cafeteria line began getting smaller and smaller every day, while this kid's orders began getting bigger and bigger. It got to the point where he couldn't accommodate all these people. What do you mean you can't take my order? I've got like 30 people to feed today. The school tries to shut this down, but the kid was allowed to leave during his food period. And he was basically just sharing the food with other students, so they couldn't. What they had to do was lower the prices of cafeteria food. And then this kid's business began to dwindle, but it still kept going, because outside food was still way better than school food. Gotta respect the hustle. This family thought, chairs make you lazy. So, they were forced to always stand when they were eating. Breakfast, standing at the counter. Lunch, standing around the island. Dinner, standing around the table with the entire family. And they were supposed to eat fast. They were trying to be efficient, I guess. Once they were done, they would clean their plates and they would move on. Well, this kid grew up this way and he never questioned it. Why would he? That's how he thought meals worked. Then he's at his friend's house for dinner one night, and he's confused. He's standing there. The dad's like, you can sit down, buddy. What are you doing? Okay. So he sits, and they talk, they laugh, they linger, and they eat their food at their own pace. He's like amazed. You good, bro? Yeah, this is just different. In a good way. He realized that his family was the weird one. Like a lot of these stories, this happens. After dinner, he goes back home and he goes to his room and cries because, what? He's been standing for every single meal, eating as fast as he can, being super stressed out because his parents are crazy. But actually, you can just sit there and enjoy your food and be with people and laugh. For the first time in his life, he was relaxed during a meal, and that meant a lot to him. Now, it's years later, and sometimes when he's stressed, he finds himself standing and eating, but he always tries to breathe, take a seat, and just enjoy those dang potatoes. This is nuts. So one day, this kid slapped another student with a ruler. Hey, Billy. Everybody laughs. Even he did. Nobody gets in trouble. Well, for some reason, witnessing this kid slap another kid with a ruler ignited something in them. Because the next day, tons of kids came to school with their own rulers. Of all different kinds. Wood ones, metal ones, plastic ones. And just like that, the hallways turn into medieval combat zones. My turn! Mr. Kevin, no! Milk. School staff started confiscating rulers from everybody, but there was so many kids with rulers, it was very hard to do so. And just like that, another ban. The school banned rulers. If anybody was caught with a ruler, it was taken and they would get a detention. If they were caught 3 times with a ruler, they would get suspended. Now you might be asking, hey, Elliot, what about the classes where rulers are required, like geometry or something? Well, those teachers would pass the rulers out at the beginning of class and collect them at the end. But still, these kids must have been obsessed with rulers, because that sounds crazy. It started small. This kid brought a few things from home that day. A headphones, a hoodie, and some random collectibles. And somebody jokingly goes, goes, "I'll trade you my Jordans for those headphones." He says, "Okay." And that's the moment it clicks. The next day he comes to school and that duffel bag he brought of stuff is heavier. And he starts telling people during lunch to meet him in the bathroom. And everything he had was up for trade. "Okay guys, line up. Here's what I got. What do you got?" And the value is negotiated right there on the spot. A hoodie for a watch for AirPods, AirPods for a portable speaker shaped like SpongeBob SquarePants, a portable speaker shaped like SpongeBob SquarePants for a porcelain plate that someone stole from their grandma's house that's worth a lot of money. Okay, I think we all did good today. We happy? Yep. Perfect. By week 3, there's a huge line of people holding random objects trying to trade with this kid, because the best part is you were never sure what he was gonna bring. Some of the stuff that was traded included shoes in a plastic bag, electronics, gift cards, jewelry. Bro, that's a PlayStation 5. I know. Now say you wanted something nice, but the thing you had to trade didn't equal the value. Okay, I'll trade you this for that, but tomorrow you gotta bring me something else to make it even. Deal. So now there's credit on the line, and that's when it gets dangerous, because if someone didn't follow up with their end of the deal, there was arguing, fights, full-blown bathroom brawls, and then came the bandits. Bigger kids that stormed into the bathroom one day and stole everything. "Hey, Pipsqueak, give us the stuff." I knew I should have hired security. That's another lesson. Always hire security. The school then gets involved in a pretty major way. Suspensions, confiscations, meetings with parents who are finding out for the first time that their kid traded their family heirloom for a frickin' SpongeBob speaker. That bathroom was closed down for the rest of the year. But nobody ever forgot that underground trading post in the school bathroom. Freaking bus drivers. Mr. Miller was the kind of bus driver who looked like he hadn't slept since 2004. He didn't care about your safety. He only cared about his blood pressure. And if you broke rule number 1, the whole bus was going down with him. It was 8 a.m. and somebody had the audacity to crack a window to get some air. Well, Mr. Miller hit the brakes so hard, kids in the front row nearly smacked against the windshield. Are you serious right now? If I hear one more click of the latch, I'm turning this bus around and dropping everybody off back at their driveways. It was silent for a while. Then this one kid moved his backpack to let somebody in. "Kyle, is that a bag in the aisle? You want me to trip and sue your parents? Pick it up and put it in your lap like a civilized human being. Or get off my bus. Kyle, I got a headache, don't test me." But here's the thing. While Mr. Miller is having a midlife crisis over a window and a backpack, the back of the bus is literally a lawless wasteland. One kid brought a Bluetooth speaker and was blasting Cocoa Melon while 2 other kids fought over a granola bar and a fruit by the foot. Mr. Miller, there's a full-blown fight happening in the back. I don't care. As long as the aisles are clear and the windows are closed, you guys could kill each other for all that I care. They finally get to the school and he opens the door. "Get out, all of you, and if I see a single piece of gum on the seats, I'm calling your mothers, especially you, Kyle." That's why you gotta watch out for those bus drivers. That's his search history? Yup. Oh my. This teacher left his smartboard on when he went to the bathroom and he completely exposed himself. Not like that, chill. But his laptop was still connected, still unlocked, and the screen was just sitting there. At first, nobody cared. But then somebody looked up and noticed something. There was a tab open next to the one that he had up, and it had his full name on it. Yo, wait. Did he Google himself? Oh my god, he did. So they clicked it, and yes, he had Googled himself. Full name typed into Google. And there were other tabs open too, of like photos. And one of the photos was from some old college article. And the photo was zoomed in on his face, like he was looking for a version of himself that he used to be. They started checking other tabs. One said, "How to become a principal." Another said, "Can teachers date each other?" And the last one just said, "Meme template." Kids were laughing, they were taking pictures, but then the door opened. He saw the board, saw what was open on his computer, and he just stood there. He closed the laptop, looked around the room, and said, "Do y'all ever have those days where you just don't even recognize yourself anymore?" He then just sat back down at his desk, and nobody said a word after that. They said it was actually a pretty sad moment. Poor guy. A substitute teacher walks into class. She's taking attendance, butchering every single name. She gets through everything, but then someone's like, "Miss, you forgot about Denise." "Oh, Denise? Yeah, she's here. right there. And the kid points to an empty desk. The substitute's like, I don't see anybody there. But then another student's like, she's just very quiet. But yeah, she's here, see? Okay. The sub then manually put in Denise's name on the sheet and wrote next to it, here. 10 minutes later, the substitute's handing out papers. Someone says, hey miss, don't forget to give Denise one. And the sub does. Oh, you're right. My bad. Here you go, Denise. Miss, she also needs a pencil. Oh, okay, here, Denise. So now, obviously, no one is sitting at that desk, but this teacher is going along with it? Or maybe she's actually believing that someone is there, but she just can't see them? By the end of class, she's talking to this empty desk like it's a real person. Okay, does everyone understand today's lesson? Denise, how about you? Yeah, she gets it, miss. And on the sub sheet to turn into the teacher, the substitute wrote, Denise was quiet today, but she completed all her work. Overall, class was great. The next day, the real teacher comes back and reads the notes. Class, who the heck is Denise? And everyone burst out laughing. I bet they had that sub thinking she was going crazy. Hey, respect to Denise though, huh? I bet I can do more push-ups than any student in this assembly. Oh yeah? So this one principal was mad cocky, always walking around like he was the final boss of the school or something. Well, one time during an assembly, he was giving a full speech about discipline and mental toughness or whatever. And in the middle of it, he goes, I bet I can do more push-ups than any student in this assembly. Everybody laughed. They thought he was joking. But then this one kid stands up and says, all right, bet. The whole gym goes quiet. The kid starts walking to the front like it's about to be a championship match. And the principal, he doesn't back down. They clear a space in the middle of the gym floor. The principal takes off his jacket and rolls up his sleeves. The kid just drops into position. No warm-up, just locked in. Someone starts counting down. 3, 2, 1, go! And boom, they start. Everyone's cheering, cameras are out. They hit 20, 30, 35 push-ups. The principal's arms start shaking, his face is red, he's sweating. And the kid, well, he's staring him down mid-push-up. Like he wants this man to quit. 40, 45, 50 push-ups, and boom. Principal falls face first into the gym floor. Just collapses. He's done. The gym goes dead silent once again. And the kid, well, he stands up. He raises one fist in the air. People are screaming and jumping, and this kid is feeling good. They ended the assembly early that day, but for the rest of the year, that kid walked around the hallways like a legend. You're a legend, bro. There he is. Push-up guy. Hi, Steven. What did the principal think was gonna happen? That's crazy. Why do lifeguards care more about a frickin' sandwich than somebody drowning? This guy went to a public pool, and he got yelled at before he was even in the water. He was standing a few feet away from the pool, eating a sandwich, when the lifeguard blew his whistle. Hey, no food near the pool! Go throw it away and wash your hands! Meanwhile, there's a literal diaper floating in the water, but this lifeguard doesn't care. The guy goes away, tosses the sandwich and washes his hands, comes back to the pool, and does a cannonball. Hey! No cannonballs! Too much splash! What? But here's the wildest part. He calls this guy up. Come here. And he starts lecturing him. You know, cannonballs cause a huge splash and waves that disrupt other swimmers. He's going on and on. But at the same time, there's literally somebody in the pool actively drowning. Hey, no, you listen to me. No, but there's... The lifeguard doesn't even glance over. Somebody's drowning. Shut up. Luckily, somebody else jumped in the water and saved this guy. But the lifeguard did nothing. Later that day, the same guy the lifeguard was yelling at was drinking a water bottle by the pool. And the lifeguard kicked him out because having unsealed water bottles was apparently against the rules. I don't know. That's just crazy. The school banned dodgeball because it was way too violent. Parents were complaining that their kids were getting hurt. So the gym teacher came up with a brand new game, a safer game. It's called complimentary catch. Everyone sits in a circle and tosses a foam ball around. When the ball gets to you, you have to give somebody else in the circle a compliment. Billy, I like your nose. The students gave it a shot, but eventually they were like, this is the dumbest thing ever. They lasted about 1 week until they had enough. One kid gathered some people. Guys, we're not doing this anymore. He rallied the entire grade to skip gym class the next day. And word spread like wildfire through the hallways. When gym period rolled around, not a single student showed up. All right, who's ready for some compliments? Where is everyone? At that very moment, practically every single student in the grade was out in the back field. They split into two massive teams, and they brought out all the dodgeballs, and they started the biggest dodgeball war that school had ever seen. It was beautiful. Kids were diving, dodging, launching balls from every direction. The principal and every single teacher made their way outside to see what was going on. And there's like 150 kids playing a huge game of dodgeball in rebellion. Everyone tried to blow their whistle. They tried to break this game up, but they couldn't. The dodgeball game lasted for an hour and a half. And when it finally ended, the students just walked back inside, and they accepted whatever punishment came their way. Next week, dodgeball was reintroduced back into gym time. That's crazy. The performance is over, you may all go home. I'm a star! So every year, this school put on a big spring play. Tickets, costumes, a full audience. It was a big deal. And this one year, they were doing Robin Hood. Now, most of the cast was taking this very seriously, but there was this one kid. Let's call him Noah. He played one of the guards. He barely had any lines, and that was the problem, because Noah wanted more stage time, and nobody gave it to him. So, on opening night, he decided to take it. Everything's going fine, the actors are on point, the audience is locked in, Robin Hood's doing his big dramatic speech. I do not steal for greed, I steal for justice. While the kings eat in their golden halls, the people will scrape crumbs off the floor. So yeah, that kid was killing it, he was feeling himself. But then Noah walks forward, points to Robin Hood and says with a completely straight face, he's got a crossbow in his pants. That's why he's walking like that. The actors freeze. The kid who played Robin Hood looks like he's about to cry. But Noah's not done. No. He starts pacing across the stage like a detective, muttering to himself, the moss is fake. The footprints don't match the alibi. This was never about taxes. Everybody's flabbergasted. He's inventing a crime subplot in the middle of a play. And then the finale. Knocks over a set piece, points up to the sky and says, it was the butler! And he starts running around the stage. The lights cut. The cast members are crying. The principal gets onto the mic and says, the performance is over, you may all go home now. I'm a star. And that was it. The show got canceled mid-performance. No second night, no cast party. It was done. And Noah, well, he showed up to school the next day like nothing happened. But people said you can tell. He was very, very proud of what he did. These are the worst parents ever. In this house, certain words were banned. Like disgusting. If you said the word disgusting, you were grounded for a week. Obviously, no swear words. Bedroom doors had to stay open at all times. Only time they could be in a room with the door closed was the bathroom. This kid's parents hated Cartoon Network. They called it garbage. So yeah, super controlling parents, but one day it became completely out of hand. One day the parents decided that these kids were bad enough to deserve a real punishment. You've seen nothing yet. So the sister was 14, the brother was 12. The parents made them gather every single item in their bedroom. Clothes, pictures, diaries, toys, childhood keepsakes. The parents made them bag this stuff up in trash bags. And then they marched them outside to a giant burn pile. March to the backyard. And item by item, they made the kids burn every single thing that they bagged up. Every memory, every photo, every childhood item, completely gone. The next day, they went out to see what was left, and it was just ashes. Their entire lives up to that point, ashes. So yeah, in my opinion, worst parents ever. This guy went to a friend's house for dinner. Everything was chill until the milk came out. It was a really big family. They were at the table, it was loud. Every single person there gets a glass of milk. And milk for you, 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 milk for me. Bruh. Well, then it starts getting weird. The dad reaches over and grabs his son's milk. Hey son, let me see your cup. I'm done with mine. And he pours his leftover milk into his son's cup. Then the mom decides she's done with her milk. So she pours her milk into her daughter's cup. And this just keeps going. When everyone decides they're done drinking milk, they pour it into somebody else's cup. So like milky backwash just rotating through everybody. Now the guest, he's just like, what is going on here? If someone finishes their milk and they want more, I want some more milk, Mom. Oh, that's perfect. I'm done with mine. I'll give you it. She just pours it into his cup. At this house, milk does not get wasted. It does not get poured down the sink. It gets recycled. And if everybody at the table is done with their milk, but there's still milk in the cups, they pour that milk back in the carton. And my friends, that is absolutely disgusting. Let's be honest, none of you are going anywhere in life. What? Yo, that's messed up. So on this day, this teacher was already at her limit. Kids were talking in class, someone was playing Subway Surfers at full volume, and she snaps. She turns to the class and she says this. You know what, guys? It's clear that you do not want to learn, and let's be real. None of you are going anywhere in life anyway. The whole room freezes. People were shocked. Did she really just say that? Well, one kid stood up, and without hesitation, he says this. Clearly, you didn't go anywhere in life either. At this point, the class is losing it. Right. She hits him with this. Sir, excuse me, you have no room to speak. You are literally failing my class. And that's when he ends her with this. Yeah, and you've been teaching this class for 19 years. You eat yogurt for lunch, still drive a 2006 Toyota Corolla, and you cry in the parking lot before second period. So I'm sorry, who's really failing here? A kid flips a chair. Oh my God. The bell rang. These students are going absolutely insane. She stands there frozen. She has no idea what the heck to do. And then as he's about to leave the classroom, he looks at her and says this. Hey, from now on, shut your mouth and let me fail in peace. See you tomorrow. And he left the room. That's absolutely crazy. Dude, don't shoot it from there. If it sticks, I'm a legend. It started with one kid. He was bored during history class, and he sat in the last row of the room. So because he was bored, he pulled a rubber band from his backpack and he shot it at the wall behind him. Whap! It stuck to the wall. No one noticed. The next day, he did it again. Nice. Thwap. 2 rubber bands stuck to the wall. And then it became this thing. It was like an unspoken challenge for the kids that sat in the back of the room. The challenge would be to see if your rubber band can stick to the wall. And kids did whatever it took. They dipped these rubber bands in spit, juice, soda, anything that made them tacky enough to hold. It was disgusting, but it worked. And over time, the wall started to change. There were layers. Bands stuck on top of other bands. It looked like some weird, stretchy art project. And the teacher, he never turned around. He was one of those teachers that stood in the front of the class the whole time and he lectured from the board. He never noticed a thing. But then one day, they got a sub, and the sub noticed immediately. She walks in, she sees the wall, and she freezes. And all the students are waiting her to be grossed out or to snitch to the principal or something. But instead, she walks over, pulls out a pen, and leaves a note on the wall. When she walked away, the kids checked the note. All the note said was respect. That's awesome. I've been teaching 7th grade for 12 years. You know, I've seen a lot. I've broken up fights, I've handled lockdowns, but nothing prepared me for the yogurt incident. It was a Thursday. It was quiet. The students were working on some packet. And then out of nowhere, splat. Go-gurt all over the ceiling like some dairy-based grenade. And the worst part is, nobody claimed it. No one looked up, nobody laughed. They sat there like they planned it. It was driving me crazy. I filed an incident report. I even brought the janitor in to look at it so I could use him as a witness. He said, and I quote, "That's not the first yogurt I scraped off the ceiling." To this day, nobody knows who did it. But every time I see yogurt or smell yogurt, God forbid I taste yogurt, my stomach drops. His name was Frog Boy, and he was the weird kid at this one school. Froggy, Puggy Wuggy. Every single day before class, he would be in the woods behind the school, catching frogs, lizards, and raising tadpoles in a Home Depot bucket. Grow, little tadpoles, grow into frogs. And every day he would walk into class smelling like pond water. Yo, Frog Boy smells extra froggy today. But in class, he would have so much pent-up energy. He couldn't sit still. And every single teacher knew this. Kevin, why don't you go take a lap around the school, okay? Okay. They would often let him leave school and run around the building and come back to tire himself out. In different classes, other kids would be doing math and they would look out the window to see Frog Boy running by. 2 plus 2 is 6. He would also just do crazy stuff, like one week he super glued all the woodshop tools to the wall. It's a masterpiece. My tools! Another week he went into the kitchen and spread flour everywhere. Looks like it snowed in here. My kitchen! And it was like that for a long time. Well, fast forward years later. One of his old classmates is at home scrolling through his phone when he stumbles on a viral motocross clip. Yo, that's sick. It's a clip of a guy on a dirt bike going off this huge ramp and doing a backflip. That's when the old classmate realizes, wait, that's frickin' Frog Boy! Frog Boy was now a professional motocross rider, and he was very rich. I'm just happy he used his energy for something awesome like that. Hey, go Frog Boy. Yo, Jacob got lunch detention. Lucky. They called it lunch detention. It sounded terrifying. No talking, no food, no freedom, just an empty room and shame. But then this one kid gets sent there, and he comes back looking way too happy. Everyone's like, yo, are you good? Bro, that was actually fire. Turns out, lunch detention wasn't even detention. There were snacks, there was music, there was a frickin' couch. So the teacher that was running it was super chill. People would be playing Uno in the corner. Nobody wanted to leave. So here's what happened. A while back, the principal asked this one teacher to run lunch detention. He did. Nobody ever questioned it, and the principal never checked in. He never stopped by. And like I said, that teacher, super chill. He just made it his own thing, this chill spot for students to hang out during lunch. So while the rest of the school thought it was punishment, kids were in there vibing, like it was some exclusive lunch lounge. And it lasted months before people started getting suspicious. They shut it down eventually, but to this day, it's still kind of a legend. They called it lunch detention, but it was basically club detention, right? This kid got his invisibility cloak stolen. There was this one kid at this one school who wore a neon construction vest every day. It wasn't for hunting. He thought it made him invisible. One day he's walking through the hallway wearing the vest like usual, and this bigger kid just rips it off of him. Now, you see, usually most people let this kid vibe because obviously he knew it didn't make him invisible, but it made him feel better. But anyway, so it was stolen off his back, and he felt like he had been exposed to the world for the first time. He won't move. Kids are walking around him. He's legitimately stuck because in his mind, without that vest, he is visible and vulnerable. So this one janitor sees what's going on. He walks straight up to this bully. Hey! Holds out his hand. The bully tries to laugh it off, but this janitor doesn't blink. He just stares him down until the bully gives the vest back. The janitor hands it back to the kid. The kid puts it on and walks away. And just like that, he was invisible once again.
বাইকটা নিচে রাখাস
সকালে উঠিয়া আমি মনে মনে বলি
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম সালাম।
প্রত্যেকদিন বাচ্চাদের পড়ান?
সবাইকে কি বলছি বাসায় গিয়া এই পড়াটা পড়তে হবে, ঠিক আছে? এখন ছুটি, বাসায় যাও। আপনাকে অনেকবার বলছি এরকম রাস্তাঘাটে আমার সাথে কথা বলবেন না, বিরক্ত করবেন না।
কেন? লোকটা কে?
আমি জানতাম তুমি রাজি হবে।
আপনি কে?
আপনার অঞ্চলের খাবার অসাধারণ।
তাই তো বলি, কেন ফোন যায় না? না, তোমার নাম্বারটা তাড়াতাড়ি করে বলো।
ঘন্টার পর তো গার্লফ্রেন্ডের লেগে ওয়েট করতে পারো, আর বন্ধুর লেগে 2 মিনিট ওয়েট করতে পারবা না?
ও এখন আমার দোস্ত, তাইলে তো বন্ধু রিত লেগে গেল।
আরে বেটা এত লাফাইস না, যেরকম শুনতেছি পরীর মতো এরকম করলে তো বেটা।
বাদ দে, কালকে 4টা দেখা হবে।
ঠিক আছে মামা,
ঠিক আছে মামা।
ঠিক মতো যা।
শালা পারলাম না রে।
তোর তো হাওয়াটা একটু হয়ে গেল।
তুলি, তুই তো সুন্দর নাম। আচ্ছা শুন, আমি জিসান, আই লাভ ইউ।
আপনাদের তো চিনলাম না। আমার বড় বোনের যে দেবরগুলো আছেন তো সবাইকেই চিনি, বাট আপনাদেরকে তো চিনি না।
যাইতে দে, আর আমার খালা লাগে। কোথায় বলবা? ভালোবাসা যে এত প্যারা, এত কষ্ট, এত জ্বালা যন্ত্রণা, জানলে ভালোই বাসতাম। জিসান আর তুলির ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস তাই রক্ত লাগবে।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দুলা ভাই।
আরে শালা, ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর, কেমন আছো? বান্ধবীও তো যায় না, এতবার ফোন দিলাম ফোনও ধরতেছে না। তুমি একটা ফোন দাও তো, ফোন বের করো।
কি বলেন দুলা ভাই, ও যায় নাই? কথা হইছে, ভাইয়া বলছে যে ভাইয়া আমাদের কোচিং এর সামনে আর আসবে না, আর তোকে ডিস্টার্বও করবে না।
পারবো না।
কারণ না, আমি 1/3 গুনবো না বাবা। প্রেম হইলেই হবে, প্রেম হইলে এমনি ডিস্টেন্স হবে বাবা। আমার খালি ওরে দরকার। তুমি পড়ো, ঘুমাও তাইলে। গুড নাইট আর বাই।
সহজে কোনো কিছু পাওয়ার মজা নাই, কিন্তু আমগো দোস্ত জিসান কি কম।
ও
ভাবি লাগে বেটা, লজ্জা লাগে না?
কি ওর কথা বাদ দে।
তুই পারো, তুই যা।
জামুই তো।
তুই চুপ থাক।
আমি তো চিনি না।
চিনো না যে আজকে চিনলা, আরো চিনবা, আস্তে আস্তে চিনবা। আর শুনো,
আরে বেন সাহেব, নতুন নতুন সম্বন্ধ তো তাই চিনতে পারেন নাই। ওই যে আপনার বান্ধবী তুলি আছে না?
আমার তো তাহলে বিশাল বিপদ। আমি তাহলে কোচিং এ কেমনে যাব, পড়াশোনা কিভাবে করবো? আমার তো ভয় লাগতেছে।
কি খবর?
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর? 3, 2, 1। আর আজকে রাত 10টা, হ্যাঁ?
রক্ত জ্ঞান।
ইতিহাস লিখবো, ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস।
ভালো আছি, আপনি ভালো আছেন?
আমি তো ভালো আছি। তো তোমার বোন কোথায়?
আচ্ছা একটা মিনিট, আমি কল দিচ্ছি।
এক রাতে ভালো হয়ে গেল, এটাও আমার বিশ্বাস করতে হবে? দোস্ত আমার না ভয় লাগতেছে।
কি করবি? চেনা চেহারা না হলো কি চেহারা, কথা তো বেশি চেহারা ওজন বেশি।
আপনি না শুই না না দেখা সব জানা ফেলছেন বাবা।